join me as I try to deal with my ex-racehorse's arthritis issues, and also a product test of Litzclips, which are an amazing safety feature for your electric fence. Hi, so it's been a few weeks since I did some of these clips. So I recorded them before Christmas and after Christmas. It was the kind of lead up to Attia's joint injection, and then everything went a bit wrong. So I explain about why and what went wrong as to why we didn't get the joint injection done in the next clip. And I also wanted to show you the difference I've found with this new joint supplement that I've been trialing for her. So I thought this would be very useful to those of you who've probably got older horses or arthritic horses. It's been a long-term management issue with Attia, trying to keep her going. But you know, she's doing all right at the moment, and yeah, it's cost me a lot of money to do all of this, but I feel it's worth it, and I wanted to show you the results. So I really hope it's useful, and that you know, I'll do another follow-up vlog in a couple of weeks to show you what she's up to and how she's getting on with it all. The other thing I covered in this vlog is the electric tape safety clips that I have. They were very useful when Attia and Lulu were in the top field, when they were being separated because of the weaning process from Estrella. So they kept breaking through this strand of electric fence tape because it wasn't electrified, and this gadget is brilliant. So I really wanted to show you how that works. So I really hope you enjoyed the vlog, and apologies for the fact I look so rubbish in the next clip. It was just after or just before Christmas, and I was feeling completely rubbish with the weather, and work was really stressful, and the vet's bills and everything. I was just not really feeling in a great place health wise, and you know, tiredness wise, so I looked terrible. So apologies for that, but anyway, here we go. Let's crack on into the vlog, and you can see what happened with Attia's joint injection, the supplement, and the electric fence. So I just thought I'd do a quick vlog update while I've got 2 minutes before I get on with some orders this afternoon. So yeah, you know, I like to be transparent with the vlog and the horses and what I do, and you know, I think a lot of people that do these vlogs kind of just show the good sides of what happens and make it all sound very glamorous. You know, the reality is stuff does go wrong with horses. It costs money, and the winter is just horrendous sometimes to get through. So yeah, I've had a really difficult time with the horses the last few weeks. And it's also, you know, been compounded by being very, very run down and working a lot of hours for the business because of all the postal strikes. It's been horrendous trying to get everything out and dealing with problems to do with that for Christmas orders. So Attia, who is my thoroughbred, she has got some arthritis changes in her foot. So she was booked in. I've saved up for months because nothing is covered on insurance with her anymore because she's had so many exclusions. I don't insure her anymore because it is just not worth paying, because so little is covered by insurance because of exclusions. So I saved up £650 to have her joint injected, and then the week before she was booked in to have that done, she came down with a really horrendous abscess. Somehow I think the vet thought a bit of stone or something had gone up into her sole, and we were actually worried it had gone into her navicular bursa. So if it had done that, it would have been the end of her, because it would have cost £5,000 to £6,000 to have that flushed out, which is just money I don't have. So, and for a horse that already is arthritic, it just wouldn't have been a decision I could make to pay that out. So yeah, so that was the first thing. So she was in on box rest for several days with a dry poultice on to let this abscess that the vet found drain. So because she's had ulcers in the past, she is not a happy horse in a stable. She gets very fed up after a day or so, and she was clearly feeling much brighter after 24 hours in. So after 48 hours I decided to put her back in the field again. It was frozen so hard that having the dry bandage poultice on, she was actually fine with that on in the field because it wasn't getting soggy or muddy. So that kind of did me a little bit of a favour, the frost. So yeah, I got her over that, and she was starting to get back to normal. And then Sunday I had to have an emergency vet call because she colicked. So she is very dramatic and has done this in the past when she's had ulcers, that, you know, she's probably triggered the ulcers from the stress of going into the vet, the pain of the abscess, you know, all those things have probably just rumbled her ulcers up a bit. So she had a bit of colic, and I sort of thought, she doesn't look great, so I'd probably better get the vet out. She was lying down and didn't want her breakfast. Of course, by the time the vet comes an hour and a half later, she's up, she's eaten her full breakfast and is walking around and eating hay and looking pretty good. So yeah, but I decided not to cancel the vet even though she started looking a bit better, because I wanted to check her out, and also my pony, who is a New Forest and is 23 years old, she is hardy and lives out all the time, and I never have any problems with her, but she's had a bit of a squitty bottom for the last couple of weeks, I think because of the frost and change in the grass, and it got really bad towards the weekend. So I just thought I'll get the vet out, because I didn't have time to deal with a vet call out on Monday or Tuesday because I have so much work on. So yeah, that was that. So the vet came out, and she is now on box rest as well. So she's been in. The stable is disgusting because she's still got this very liquid poo. She's absolutely fine in herself. She's eating, she's drinking. The vet was quite happy that there's nothing wrong with her. She just has got this horrible runny bum. So yes, it's been really delightful dealing with that. And obviously, like I say, I have no hose, so trying to keep her clean is also a nightmare. So yeah, it's been really not the most successful couple of weeks, and not really what I needed, on top of all of my Christmas orders and, you know, issues with stock that came that was incorrect. And, you know, I've just had a lot on my plate to try and deal with, as well as my part-time job, because I still have to have a part-time job to fund the horses and, you know, to supplement the business earnings because of how the economy is. I can't rely on earning enough money just from doing the boot business. So yeah, I work really blooming hard, and I know sometimes people probably watch my videos and think, wow, you know, you're so lucky, but I work really hard for it. I really do. I'm 24/7 with the business, and yeah, you know, the horses live out on DIY basis. I look after them totally by myself. You know, I have very, very little help. I've got a friend that helps occasionally for the odd, you know, long weekend away or whatever. But yeah, it's tough going this time of year. And my friend said to me, I love Christmas, I love winter, it's so cozy. And I just thought, you've got no idea. It is just, I think if you're a horse owner, you probably get exactly where I'm coming from when you're trying to push a barrow through knee-deep mud, or you're slipping around on ice and, you know, or refilling water from your car because you can't get water up at your field. Yeah, so yeah. Anyway, I just want to talk about that because I hope some of you identify with that, and I just wanted to show the reality of having horses in the winter, especially. So yeah, I hope you've had a better winter than I have anyway. Oh, this was not part of my morning plan, people. What on earth has happened here? Oh, who's done that? Just before I sort out this complete mess where they've ruined this little alleyway fencing, I just wanted to show you these. This is called a Litzclip, and I bought these. They were quite expensive, but they are worth their weight in gold if you've got horses that don't respect the electric. I don't have a battery attached to this bit, so it's not really surprising that they push through sometimes. But yeah, the Litzclip things are really amazing because they do stop them getting injuries, because they, I can't find the other end of it, but yeah, that little metal part connects to another metal part, so they sort of lie on top of each other, so they sort of, it's a bit hard to explain, but yeah, the other one sort of would come in here with another hole that lines up, and then there's a little stopper that's a plastic stopper that kind of connects the two together. And it just means if your horse panics and runs through the fence or gets tangled, the stopper breaks apart and the fencing will just break rather than your horse's leg getting shredded. So yeah, they are quite a good product. So if you've got electric fencing, I definitely recommend fitting some of those, because otherwise I think I could have come down to find some horrible electric fence tape burns, or even worse, cuts or whatever. So yeah, check them out. So I've just found another piece of the bottom strand of the fencing, which has still got the clip intact. So it hasn't got the little plastic ends on it, which it should do. They don't really do much. I think they just stop it being sharp on these corners. But yeah, so that just shows you how the button works, and then it literally slices through if the horses pull through. So yeah, it's quite a clever bit of kit. I actually bought them when Estrella was a foal and was in here, because she kept pushing through the fencing all the time, and I was obviously worried, especially being a foal, that she was going to get tangled and panic herself. So yeah, I bought them for that really. But yeah, decent bit of kit. Oh, I've actually just found the other end of the clip. So I thought it had gone, I don't know where I thought it had gone. But anyway, it was actually stuck here. So as you can see, someone's obviously got tangled in it, pulled the wire all the way through until this has got stuck against there, and then the clip has broken apart here and taken the pressure of that instead of my horse's leg. So that is good. So yeah, I don't know why they want to keep breaking through here, because there's nothing on this side of interest for them. There's not food or anything. So I don't know why, but anyway. So while I was sorting out the clips to make the vlog, I also found these cute clips of Elf and Estrella having fun galloping around, so I thought you'd enjoy them. So these are some clips of Attia being ridden by Sophie out hacking just after her abscess had recovered, and she wasn't looking too bad here. She looks a little bit stiff in her hocks perhaps, but not terrible. Anyway, so Attia's on her first hack out since Christmas Eve, when she did her Christmas hack, and she's looking quite sprightly. And Elfie had his lesson yesterday and is quite spooky today actually. He doesn't really like the puddles, so and there are a lot of puddles, it's not very nice, but anyway, so yes, enjoying a nice hack. Attia, it's sunny. Elfie, it's sunny. This is a rarity. I'm very proud of Elf. He's just gone through a massive puddle. This is a horse that does not like water, because he's not used to it, coming from Spain, not in the biblical deluge fashion that we've had here for the last month. So yeah, but anyway, they're enjoying themselves. So this is the lake outside our field. So I'm just gonna see what he makes of it. He did go through it, come out, but you're not over keen, are you, mate? Oh, you going back in? Come on then. Come on. Come on. Come on, you got to go back in the field. Come on. Come on. Good good boy. Oh, good boy. He's like, yeah, one puddle's enough. One puddle is enough, mother. Woo, you're going that way. Come on, you're going to have to go through it to get back over here. Well done, good boy. So yeah, she didn't look too bad there for that hack, and she struggled a little bit on hard road to trot, but that's quite normal for her. Who do we think might be responsible for breaking stuff? Oh, look what you've managed to do. How have you done this? Oh, you've completely broken your neck rug. That's good. Just another bit of money. Don't worry, I've got loads of it. I can chuck it around. I'm like a millionaire. Yeah, I'm not. So I've come down the field this morning and they've broken this bit of rubbishy fence again. But just to prove my point, these really do work, because we've got one broken button this end, and then attached to this end, the other broken button. And so all I've got to do is get one of the little plastic studs out and snap that back together again, and my horses all have their limbs intact, which is good. So yeah, this is a box of the little replacement buttons. So yeah, I'm just going to get one of these out and connect it back up again. So I've just popped that button in, and then you just sort of put a bit of tension on it. Ola, shush please. Okay, there we go, and that's now reset. So, next time they decide to be idiots. Yes, was it you? Yes, it was. Next time they decide to be an idiot, that little plastic... Ola, shush. That little plastic stud. Yes, I know, I'm explaining to everybody what you've done again. That will just come apart. So this will just slice in half, pop apart, and nobody will end up injured. Which is good, because we don't need any more vet bills, do we? No, we don't. So this is another ridden clip just before Attia started on the supplement. The ground was very hard because it was quite frozen still on that day. So, you know, that's not ideal for her with her joints. But you can see she is just slightly off. She's not properly lame, but she's just not looking comfortable, really. Sophie and Attia doing the working equitation course in a slippery walk because the field is still very wintry. And they're through the slalom, nearly. Whoop, 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 whoop. So I think all the frozen ground and the cold weather really didn't help her, because the next time we took her for a hack, she was quite sore and you could tell she was quite obviously uncomfortable on that one joint. So Attia's struggling a little bit today with her arthritis. I've been saving up again since she used all my money on the colic appointments and things to get her joint injection done, but I've also found a new supplement which I've ordered, which is very expensive, but it's apparently absolutely amazing. So I've got that due to come soon. Hopefully it'll be here in the next few days, and we're going to give her a trial on that as well, because I'd really like to see what difference it makes before we do the Arthramid injection. So yeah, I mean, arthritis, it's always difficult. Some days are better than others. Some days she'll come out and she's almost, you know, perfectly sound. Other times she comes out and she's a little bit footy on that one leg that we know is an issue. And we have very hard hacking around us. It's all gravel tracks or roads for the short hacks, so it's not really ideal. But anyway, we'll see how we go with this new supplement, and I will do a review on it if it works. So I'm really excited because my parcel has arrived earlier than I thought it would. So it's Saturday today, and this is Attia's new CBD supplement. So it's sort of like a hemp cannabis type joint supplement, and it's meant to be really good for sort of anxious horses and horses that are prone to ulcers and things like that as well. So I'm going to give it a go because she has been really a bit sore on that one joint. So I'm hoping this will make a difference. I'm going to start her on it this weekend and see how we get on. Oh, so it's a bit dark. Well, getting dark. Anyway, Attia's just had her first feed with the first doses of the Hempine supplement. So yeah, it does smell quite strong, but she seems to be tucking in okay. She can be a little bit fussy about supplements sometimes. But yeah, so I'm very keen to see what difference it's going to make. So yeah, we'll see over the next day or two what happens. So we went for a ride 2 days in on the supplement, and Sophie said she felt like she was walking much more smoothly. I decided to still book her in for the joint injection, and my friend kindly let us use her school so that I could just do an assessment of her movement before we took her to the vets, just to do a comparison really. So whilst some of the improvement is obviously being on a softer surface than the hard road, I'm amazed at how nicely she's moving here. She actually looked really quite good. Very, very slightly off on that white front leg, but that is the one that's going to be injected. After I lunged her, we popped Sophie up just for 15 minutes, and they went pretty well together, I have to say. Again, the white foot very slightly off, but it's not that noticeable. So I think the Hempine has really made a massive difference. The only thing I have noticed is it makes her very sweaty, especially when she gets stressy travelling. So Attia's in the back. You can just about see her on the camera there. She loaded very nicely, which was good. She's not quite as stressed out as she was when we took her to my friend's arena the other day. She always is better after she's been loaded and travelled a few times. She finds it a bit less stressful. It's always bad after a long gap. But anyway, so she's loaded nicely. We're off to the vets and we're running on time, hopefully, as long as we don't get stuck in any traffic in the roadworks. And she's going to have her Arthramid injection into her joint. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how much difference that's going to make to her movement. She's already moving nicely with this new supplement she's on, so hopefully this will be the next step and we get her back into some, real good form of comfort. So yeah. So the vet was really happy with her in-hand trot up on a hard surface, and then Sophie had a little ride on her in the arena just to so he could see what she was like ridden, and he didn't think she looked too bad. So we decided to go ahead with the Arthramid injection as planned. As I say, this supplement does seem to make her quite sweaty, so she does look quite damp in the videos. It's not because we've ridden her really hard. So first of all, they clipped the area the injection was going to go in, and then the vet nurse spent a very long time scrubbing it all and making sure that the injection site would be very clean and sterile. So she did a really good job. Then she went up onto these wooden blocks just to give a bit of stability, and in this next picture you can see he's about to put the needle in, and there is the needle into the joint. So once he was happy with the placement, the first injection went in, which was the Arthramid, and then that was followed by a steroid injection. It's his belief that the Arthramid is a very good carrier for the steroid, which means that the steroid has a longer lasting effect as well. So the combination of the two should be a really good long lasting option for her. Then she just has a little bandage put on, and just had to wait a bit of time for the sedation to wear off before we could take her home. She's still a little bit sleepy, but I think you'll be alright to go home now. Yeah? So yeah, we're going to load her up, and then she can have a day off, and then she's meant to have another day off tomorrow and some light work the day afterwards. And then hopefully she can start doing some light work over the weekend. Won't you? Yes. Right, you're a good girl then, won't you? Right. So all in all, that seemed to go very well. I'm very happy that the Hempine has made a big difference to her overall movement, and then the addition of that Arthramid into that one particular joint that we know is an issue should hopefully give her a really good level of comfort, and she should be much happier hacking out on the harder surfaces and maybe start doing a bit more work in the school ongoing. I'd really like Sophie and her to get out and do a dressage test, just a little intro walk and trot one. So yeah, I really hope that was useful to any of you who are dealing with horses with similar issues, and hopefully it's one or other or both of them are things you might be able to consider. If you enjoyed the vlog, please remember to subscribe and you'll be notified of any future videos. I will be updating on her progress in a couple of weeks. And thanks for watching.